Reggie here, your friendly neighborhood bodybuilder and comic book collector, and I want to welcome you to another one of my videos. In this video, we are going to spend just a little bit of time responding to some inquiries that have come into the channel over the last couple of months. Specifically, people have been asking me for tips and pointers on how to create a YouTube channel. And I've been a little hesitant and reluctant to do this one, partly because I don't think that my channel is like this shining example of what it looks like to have a great YouTube channel. I think that there's a lot of other people out there that have really large channels that are doing a lot of really great things, but I have built, I think, a pretty solid channel with some awesome content that people enjoy. And so I want to, within that framework, kind of honor the inquiries that have come to me from people that are trying to start their channels or have started channels and are looking for tips and pointers. So my hope in this video is to provide those folks with some things to think about, some things to consider. And I'll be using myself as an example to kind of paint the picture. Again, not to say that this is how you should do it, but basically to explain and provide some context around some of the recommendations that I'm making. What you'll hear in this video aren't necessarily practical tips about sound and light and how to properly set up your lighting and your sound system and your camera. We won't be talking about those kind of things, but we will be talking about, I think, some things that you might want to think about, some things that you might want to consider if you are starting a YouTube channel. And so if this proves to be something that people are enjoying, then maybe we'll do some subsequent videos and add some more of those practical tips and things to consider at a later date. But I have a couple of notes off to my side here that I'm going to refer to that will hopefully prevent me from rambling on. So we're gonna jump into it. I think I have like 8 things or something like that that I'll kind of walk through and then provide a little bit of context and example to where appropriate. So the first thing I would encourage people to do is to think about their personal motivation, not your goal, but personally, what is your motivation for starting a YouTube channel? And I say that you want to give thought to that because to some degree or another, your personal motivation will serve as a guidepost. It'll give you a direction for, where you want to go. And to some degree or another, your personal motivation actually shines through in the videos that you create, either good or bad, right? And so it's important to understand one's motivation before you start a YouTube channel. And my motivation, by and large, is really 2 things. First and foremost, it was about having some fun. First and foremost, I was watching guys like Jim Mint, Jim's Comics, Sell My Comics, Reaper Tate, Luther Manning, ETA Nick. These were the guys that I was watching before I started my channel. And these guys always appear to be having some fun. And I was like, I want to have some fun, right? I want to have some fun. I want to get involved. I want to connect with people out there that are passionate about comics. And that's why I turned on the camera and recorded myself for the first time in like February of 2018, was because I wanted to have some fun. And secondarily to that, I wanted to help people. And that came a little bit later after I started to figure out what it was that I wanted to do. But first and foremost, it's about having fun. And if you think about the videos that I create, you will see that shines through. In every video, I am having fun. And I think people feel that I'm trying to have some fun. And because of that, they also have some fun, right? And so my personal motivation was to have some fun. Secondarily, to help people. My videos are about those 2 things, information and fun. Almost every video is basically that. I always have a smile on my face, and there is a reason for that, because I'm trying to have fun. Is that not clear? Then never mind. All right, so I'm looking at my notes here. The second thing that you want to think about is, what is your goal, right? What is your specific goal? The same way that you should have a career goal, the same way I think you should have a goal for your collection, you should also have a goal for your channel. And I remember when I was getting into shape or thinking about like fitness, right? My motivation was very simple. I wanted abs, pure and simple. I wanted abs. It might sound silly. It motivated me to not eat junk food and to go to the gym. That desire to have abs. It can be something super, super simple, but you want to have some kind of goal in mind. And so it doesn't matter whether your goal is to, reach a certain number of subscribers or to monetize your site or to have a sponsor or to, no longer work anymore and to basically live off of the revenue from your YouTube channel. Whatever your goal is, you should probably have a goal in mind. That way, when you achieve it, you can say, I've achieved my goal. I have done what it was that I set out to accomplish. And then maybe you set another goal. That's a bigger goal, right? So think about your motivation. Think about your goal. The third thing that I want you to think about is your target audience. Who is your target audience? Who are you creating videos for? And it might be someone just like you, right? And if that's the case, then it kind of sort of makes it easy, right? To be able to figure out what kind of content you want to create, what kind of tone you want to have. If it's not someone like you, then you'll have to figure out how do you get the expertise in order to connect with that target audience? How do you create content for an audience that you want to speak with? And for me, if you think about it, well, maybe you haven't thought about it, but my target audience was new collectors, those collectors that were newly returning to comics, as well as seasoned veterans. And if you think about the videos that I create, the videos speak to those three audiences. I have a series, a lingo series that speaks to new collectors and those newly returning, where I basically define all of these crazy terms that we throw out there and use all the time. And so that video series was one that was really helpful. I talk about how to submit comics to CGC. That's something that all three segments can actually benefit from. How to package up comics speaks to all three. Hey, where do we start with some of these classic characters that are out there? That is something where I leverage the expertise of those that have been collecting for decades and reading comics for decades to benefit those that are newly coming to comics or newly returning, right? So I am constantly creating content for all three of my target audiences. And so you definitely want to give thought to that. Who is your target? Once you figure out your target, the next thing you want to think about is how do you want to show up on camera? And what I mean by that is that there's a lot of ways that you can show up on camera, right? There are people that curse on camera. That's perfectly fine if it fits with their target audience, right? There are some people that drink online. That's cool if it fits with your target audience. There are people that have their significant others on their channel. Perfectly fine. There are people that do group things. Perfectly fine. You want to think about how it is that you want to show up on camera, and you want to make sure that how you show up on camera is in line with your motivations, who you are as a person, what your goals are, and who your target audience is. Personally, I always have a smile on my face, right? And sometimes I have a bad day. I don't film videos. I don't go live if I'm having a bad day because I don't want that to come through on the camera. You will never see me ranting and raving on camera. That's not who I want to be on camera. That's not how I want people to see me. So I don't do that. I don't curse in my videos. Why is that? Many reasons for many reasons, right? Some of the reasons are people's children watch my videos, so I don't curse. My children watch my videos. When they get older, I want them to be able to watch my videos, and I don't want them to see me cursing on camera. I work in a profession in which that's not necessarily how you want to represent yourself. And then morally, I just don't want to be cursing on camera and to have that be recorded and broadcast all around the world. That's not for me. And then it also, honestly, drinking and cursing can also limit some of your sponsorship opportunities because not every sponsor is going to want to be associated with that. Now, there are some sponsors that don't care or that's in line with their brands, right? But by and large, I don't do these things because I think that they limit your potential and they also are not in line with who I am as an individual. So again, how do you want to show up on camera? The next tip that I want to offer is to think about what it is that sets you apart from other YouTubers. If people can come to your channel and then go to another channel and get exactly what you are offering elsewhere, then why would they watch your videos? So you have to ask yourself, what is it that you're going to do or say or demonstrate or deliver that will set you apart from other YouTubers? There is hours of content being uploaded every single minute to YouTube. What is it that's going to make people stop and watch your videos? And so you'll have to figure that out. And it could be the quality of the content. It could be your personality. It could be the production value of your videos. That could be part of it. And I've had a lot of people say that to me, that, there are some things that definitely set me apart from other YouTubers, but that's also because I spend a lot of time thinking about, what is it that will make my channel different from everyone else? What is it that I can be saying or offering or doing that will actually set me apart, that will make people want to come back and watch my channel? And so you want to spend a little time thinking about that. Think about what sets you apart from other people. And I can tell you for a fact that there are very few things that I do on my channel that I haven't thought about. There are very few things that are accidental. So much of it is I am thinking about my customer. I am thinking about the viewer, and I'm asking myself, what do they need? What do they want? If they're giving up time out of their day, what can I give them in exchange for that time where they'll walk away with something of value, right? And so that's why I'm always saying, here's some things for you to think about, some things for you to consider, right? There are reasons for the things that I do. And so one tip might be to watch a lot of YouTubers. See what they're doing, see what they're saying, look at their videos, look at their setups, and figure out, what are they doing right? What are they doing wrong? What are some things that you can do differently that no one else is doing? Can you find a niche? Because I think that there is a lot of room out there for differentiation. And I don't know that we all are taking the time to do that, which is why there is so many channels, in my opinion, that look very similar. And that's not a criticism. That is a statement of my opinion. And so what I would say is, you take a look and see what's out there. And can you find some white space where you can be different from other people? The next tip is you probably want to give some thought to what you want to name your channel. And this is one of those things that it can be tough. I think it can be tough. But the reason that I put it so far down on the list is that if you think about some of the other things that we've spoken about, if you do those things, then maybe it'll make the naming a little easier, right? And the name of my channel is super simple. Regie Collects. Super simple. I'm Reggie. I collect some stuff. And it's pretty straightforward, And so to some degree or another, it tells you a lot. It tells you that there is a person named Reggie, and that Reggie collects some stuff, right? And part of it is that I don't use the word comics in mine, because who knows if I will only ever collect comics. I may decide to collect statues or omnibus or, I don't know, something else, right? Pops. I may decide to do that. Probably not. But you get my point, is that I'm not necessarily pigeonholing myself into anything. I'm giving myself some latitude by calling myself Regie Collects. Another YouTube channel that I watch on a regular basis, who has a very descriptive name, right? And it tells you everything that you need to know. Comics Explained. I watch Comics Explained every single day. I enjoy Rob's content like nobody's business, right? His title of the channel tells you everything that you know. He is going to talk about comics, and he's going to explain them in 2 words. He tells you it is like the best name ever, and this guy has almost 2 million subscribers. So he's probably doing something right. And so you want to give some thought to, what is it that you want to name your channel? And is the name of the channel something that will explain to people who and what you are? And is it something that will flex with you as your channel begins to grow, and maybe as your channel begins to change over time, right? Because just because you start at point A doesn't mean that you finish there. You may finish in a completely different place as you're getting feedback from your target customers, and as you're starting to figure out what's working and what's not working for you. And I bring that up for a couple of reasons. There are a lot of things that I've experimented with on my channel over the last, soon to be 2 years that I've been doing it. I've experimented with a lot of different things as I've been trying to figure out what's working, right? And there were some things that I've done that I thought were great that no one else enjoyed. So I did this series once called Random Run. No one liked it. No one really watched Random Run. And you may not even know about it, but what happened was I was stuck in this trap, if you will, of doing nothing but haul videos. I was constantly showing new books that I picked up, and I was showing key after key after key after key. And part of the reason for that was because that's what so much of the comic book community was just about straight hauls, right? And I was showing keys because I was going out buying these books because I was playing catch up, right? Because I've been out of the hobby for so long, I wanted to get all of these great books that I'd always seen in like Wizard and seen on the walls in comic shops. So I was buying these books constantly and doing videos just about that content. And I had a subscriber at the time, back when there were like 250 of us, right? A subscriber said, "Do you have anything but keys?" And first I was offended. First, I honestly was offended. Like, wow, that's just, why would you say it? And then I thought about it. I said, I guess, all I do is show hauls and all I show are keys. And I responded to the person like, no, actually, most of my collection aren't even keys. I have a ton of books that are raw, not even graded. Most of them are not even keys. They're just books that I enjoy. But I took that as a sign. I took that as a sign and an opportunity to create a series called Random Run. And this series was all about me showing books in my collection that were not keys, that were books that I simply enjoy, runs that I simply enjoy for the artwork, for the story, things like that, that reminded me of my childhood. And the idea was that these were books that were great books that no one was talking about. No one was putting them on the wall, right, to really showcase, but they were still great books. And so it was a fun series for me because it was addressing a specific thing that I had heard from a subscriber. The problem was no one wanted to see that. And that was perfectly fine. It was an experiment, right? And I've done these experiments off and on over the last couple of years, trying different things to see what would work, right? I did the Lingo series. That was somewhat popular. I think people enjoyed that. I think people are getting something out of it. I've done a few like CGC videos and some shipping videos. And then I did some market watch videos where I talked about what was happening in the marketplace. I did a vlog series, which I think people really enjoy, where they don't see me, they just kind of hear my voice. I've done the hunting series, and I think people absolutely done that. I've done or enjoyed that. I've done the live videos, which I think people enjoy. I've done Ready, Set, Go, the preview show for the last 35 weeks, right? Very consistent with that, and people have loved those shows. And so there are some things that I've done that have resonated with people. There are things that haven't resonated with people, and I've substituted those things out, tried to bring new things in to see what will work. So my point is, the name that you want to select is one that you want to have that can work with you over time, because where you start might not be where you finish. So I said that I wasn't going to do any practical tips, but I lied. I'm actually going to throw in a couple here. I'm going to go off script, off book, and talk about a couple of practical tips. And one of them is around consistency, right? You want to be consistent in what you're doing in a couple of different ways, in like the quality of what you're doing, but also in the timing at which you put videos up, right? If you go 3 weeks, 4 weeks, whatever it is, without releasing a video, that might not be the best thing to do, right? You want to find a rhythm so that people know when to expect your videos, right? And it doesn't have to be every day. In fact, I think that that's probably too much for most people, right? Maybe it is once a week. Once a week, you are going to release a video, and that might be all that you do for a while, and that's perfectly fine. But what you want to do is you want to be consistent in releasing that video every single week on the same day, potentially at the same time. And you want to tell people that. You want to tell them exactly when you're going to be releasing content. That way there's no surprise. If I hear that you release a video on Monday at 5 o'clock, I am going to expect, if I enjoy your content, I'm going to expect that video on Monday at 5 o'clock, and I will show up for it consistently, right? And I have, over the last year or so, moved towards basically releasing a video every single day, Monday through Friday, always at 3:30. There is a reason why I say it in the videos, and there's a reason why I consistently release that content at that time, because people come to expect it. The other reason why I do it is because that is the time in which I literally walk out of work. So I walk out of work at basically 3:30. And so when people are watching and responding to my video at that time, I can actually respond in real time back to them as they're watching the video. And so it's one of those really cool moments where, hey, I just made the first comment on your video, thought it was cool. I can respond right back and hit them back, and they're like, whoa, you know. And I think it's one of those things that I think it's just one of those nice little things that I do that actually works with when I release my videos, and it works with my everyday life, right? So I release these videos Monday through Friday, always at 3:30 p.m. Pacific time, always. And then I always do a preview show, a live show on Sunday night at 7:30 p.m. Pacific time. Why is that? My kids go to bed at 7 o'clock. So I do my live stream at 7:30, right? And then I also do other live streams, but those are typically not scheduled, right? They pop up, I throw them out there, but I don't lock myself into that during the week because I might not feel like going on camera. And so I do what works best for me, but you want to have some consistency that people can count on, that people can depend upon. And I can tell you for a fact that people know that if it's Sunday at 7:30, they are going to have the Ready Set preview show, right? They know that the Ready Set Go preview show is going down, and we've been doing it consistently for 35 weeks, 36 weeks, whatever it happens to be right now. So consistency is key. So there you go. Those are some tips that I wanted to offer up to those folks out there that are thinking about starting a channel or have started one but are trying to look for some tips and pointers to make the channel better. My hope is that there was something here that was actually helpful. At the end of the day, you guys will let me know that. But again, I hope that there is something here that you guys can work with. And if so, if you enjoyed the video, I definitely want to encourage you to give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more of these, let me know that as well. Because again, I like to be receptive and responsive to my target audience. So if this is not working for you guys, just let me know. If you need to reach out to me, feel free to do so at RegieCollects on Instagram and RegieCollects@gmail.com. Take care.